Hello and welcome to After the Whistle. I am your host, Brian Dorrington, here with Salsa Steve Pafume.
It's Friday.
Yes, it is.
And it's amazing. And we got a glorious day outside today.
Yes, hey, look at you. You're happy.
I'm very happy today.
We'd like to say Mukala is actually out. He's at the National Association for Black Journalists Convention, and he's meeting some pretty cool people there. He sent us pictures with Isaiah Thomas, the original Isaiah Thomas. Yep. NBA player Steve Smith. And he talked to Rob Parker of Fox Sports 1, who's a journalist on there. And he's apparently a fan of the show. So, Rob Parker, if you're watching, we're a fan of you, and thank you for being a fan of us. You're welcome on the show anytime. But let's jump right into this. We're going to talk about the NFL. It's back, even if it's only in preseason form. We started off, they had the Hall of Fame game versus the Bears and the Ravens. What are some of your takeaways, Steve?
Well, I wasn't able to watch it. I wasn't really home, but I read about the stats and everything.
You weren't really home? How could you be really home? You're either home or you're not home. Were you like half home?
I went home, helped my friend do laundry because his washer and dryer broke, and then I left. But then I came back, and so I was like home.
So you were half home?
Yeah, I was half home.
Okay, gotcha.
But I was excited. RG3's back, so that kind of made me happy. I like watching him when he first came to the NFL. He went 7 for 11 and got a touchdown. Mm-hmm. What else did they have?
58 yards.
58 yards. It's not too bad for your first time back.
No, he played well.
Bears, they ran for 65 yards, but they had 235 for receiving yards. That's insane. Mm-hmm. But the Ravens, they ran for 113 yards, but they only threw 128. But I mean, it looks like it was a good game. It was a close game at the end, 16-17. Lamar Jackson carried the ball 8 times, only ran for 25 yards though.
Yeah, that's the big news. Lamar Jackson. That's why I was curious in this game to see if he is going to be the heir apparent to Joe Flacco. A lot of questions. Is there going to be a quarterback controversy this year in Baltimore? By his play at the game, I think he went 4 for 10, 33 yards, a touchdown and interception. He looked like a rookie. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be any quarterback controversy. If anything, there's going to be a backup quarterback controversy with RG3 versus and Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Who's going to be that backup? And right now, teams usually only have been carrying 2 quarterbacks on their roster going into game week. I wouldn't be surprised to see all 3 of these guys because they're all versatile. At least RG3 and Lamar Jackson are versatile. In practice they've had sets with both Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson at the same time, and I wouldn't be surprised if, maybe they throw 3 quarterbacks out there at one time. You know, if RG3 still has it, maybe they're a team who goes back to when you had 3 quarterbacks on the sideline. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't see Lamar Jackson coming in this season unless Flacco's injured or unless they go like 1-5 in their first 6 games. Do you see him starting at all?
I mean, it's one game. One game is
right.
They got countless games after that. And we've seen it before. Like someone plays not too bad of a game, but not too great. But after like 2 or 3 games, they show what they fully are. And I mean, who knows? Maybe Jackson, maybe he rises up, maybe he drops down. We don't know. Right now, I say he's at the middle. Mm-hmm. He's not great, but he's not bad. So I say I'd keep him in for the rest of the preseason until week 4, because that's when you should get your starter out there and get him all like warmed up and everything. But for at least the first 3 weeks, keep Jackson in there, see how he does under pressure, without pressure and everything, and works with the team too. Because you can't do that until you can't go off of someone's first game. I feel like you have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do think that he's eventually going to take over for Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah.
I know it. He's going to be their future quarterback. I don't see it happening this season. I don't think you need to rush him in this season unless Flacco's injured. But it was fun to see him play. I mean, that's really what I like about preseason, seeing some of these rookies. Also, in this first preseason game, we got to, within the first 4 minutes, experience this new helmet rule in action. What's your take on that?
I hate the helmet rule.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
I think everybody hates the new helmet rule.
It's dumb. Like, you can't lower your head at all.
I mean, I guess I don't know. Everybody's still kind of confused. I guess you can't lead with the head.
Well, you can't even hit a helmet against helmet.
Right.
Like, that's, I mean, I can see why, but still, like, that's happened so many years, and now you're going to change it. Like, we've been around, the football's been around for countless years, and there's not been one thing about this rule. But now, we're in 2018, and honestly, personally, me, sports have gone soft since 2010.
Right. I think you're right.
These younger kids come up, oh, I'm so scared to get hit and everything. Like, let's go, man up. You play a sport for a reason. Like, you're playing football. You're going to get hit. You're going to get a concussion. Just get back up and go out there. You don't need a rule to kind of save your job or whatever.
Right. I mean, I'm all for player safety. I've had my fair share of concussions, too. They're not fun, and they can be dangerous, especially long term. But this rule, I think, is a little bit crazy in the fact that they leave it open to, if it's incidental, I only have one hand, I can only do quotations with this. If it's incidental contact, it's not a penalty, which, how do you police that? It's just so up in the air. It's case by case. And what it really does is it slows the game down even more. And over the years, the past few years, that's been the complaint about the NFL. And one of the reasons viewership might be going down, it's because the game is slowed. And you saw the referees had to gather together. It took them a long time to come up with this decision, and it's going to happen every single game. It's just too much. It's slowing it down, and the refs are confused, the players are confused, the coaches are confused. This is what happens when you have owners making decisions without the players and coaches' input enough. So I think this is going to slow down the game. I don't know. Maybe it might prevent some concussions. Who knows? We'll see a lot more flags. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, and it's going to take. Football games are already like about 2.5 hours, I'd say, on TV. Maybe even longer. Yeah, sometimes even longer. This is going to make it like 5 hours long. Like you're going to want to watch it. Then you're gonna be watching at home. You're gonna want to change it. Like this is too long. Like I don't want to sit there and watch a 5-hour football game. I like it when it's quick. I like seeing the players just go at it and then get back up and go. I hate all the flags and everything, and it makes me mad.
Yeah, especially the night games. I mean, the ones that's like, how are you going to stay up for these things? I don't know. I'm all for player safety, but I don't like this rule at all. Let's move on to, well, I guess another rule and act. Did you have this rundown, and you have Trump versus the NFL, and apparently you got a picture that I haven't seen.
Everyone's going to love this picture.
Donald Trump. Oh, there you go. Did you make that?
No, I wish I could draw that, but no.
That's an interesting photo.
I found that one in the internet. I was like, it's pretty interesting. It's
you don't even have to talk about it. We can just have that photo up and
this is literally
everybody entertained.
This picture explains everything.
Yeah. So I think even more, this controversy just keeps going and going, and it's not even Trump keeping it going at this point. I mean, of course, he weighs in, but Jerry Jones and his son, whatever it is, Steven Jones, I think his son is, they just keep bringing this up, and the NFL finally gave him a gag order, told him to shut up and stop talking about it, which I think is good, because this just isn't, it's over. Just stop talking about it. The rule's been made. I don't like the rule. I don't think a lot of people like the rule, but it's just been beaten to death, and it's not good for football. It's not helping football. And a little bit off topic, or kind of, did you hear about the Madden controversy?
Yes, I did.
That's that's not in the rundown, but I figured we could talk about it here.
I found that yesterday after I left work.
Why don't you explain to the people what it is first?
Big Sean, he made a song with the YG. It's called Big Bank, and he mentioned Colin Kaepernick's name. And what Madden and the NFL both did, they talked about it and they censored out Kaepernick's name in the song, acting like it was a curse word. So now Big Sean is, I believe I feel like he wants to sue. I'm not sure about that.
Well, he said he didn't agree to it. So
he doesn't agree. Like,
he probably could.
It's because they didn't talk to him. Like, I think if you make a song, you put in, you have the rights in the song. That means you work together. They asked you to have the song in there, and you can't just censor it. You got to talk to them. If I'm Big Sean, I sue Madden and I sue the NFL. I sue them both because both of them are in fault on this.
Well, I do think. Well, so what happened? I think it came out this morning actually, is that the EA is saying, oh, we made a mistake. We didn't have the rights to use Colin Kaepernick as a player, so we didn't think we had the rights to use him in a song, which is BS. They have attorneys that are on $1 million bankroll. They know. They left it out intentionally. So there is going to be an update where Colin Kaepernick's name will be included. It's going to come out later in August. But, just if you want to avoid the controversy altogether, pick a different song without Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? It's just so ridiculous. It just puts EA in a bad light, puts the NFL in a bad light. And Colin Kaepernick, once again, he comes out looking like a star. You know that he's saying they're even trying to censor me now. So I don't know. This has just gotten way too ridiculous for my liking.
I give up with. Honestly, at this point, I'm giving up with the NFL. For years, they've been going down. Their games have been going down, and both of them just doing this kind of takes me away. It's like, why not just let the guy have his name in there? Who cares? How is that going to hurt you? Because he did the kneel. Really, that's going to hurt you so much. You're not putting the kneel in the game, are you? No, you're not. It's just a name. I hear names all the time in different songs that are on different games, and not once have I heard a censor.
That would be interesting if you could put the kneel in the game.
That, honestly.
If playing, EA, think about that. If you had the option to kneel.
So many people would do it.
Wow. That would be cool.
They would make a lot of money off the games because people would love to make
Who do we contact? We got to pitch this to somebody. This could make us some money here. We should maybe not say this on air. Other people are going to steal our idea. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about NFL preseason. I'm of the belief that preseason's a little too long. I think it should be cut down to 2 games. I like watching it because, like I said earlier, I like watching the new rookies, especially the rookie quarterbacks for the first time. But do I get that super excited about preseason? Not really. How about you?
No. It's just it's like NBA. NBA only has 2, right? They only have 2. I think they only have 2 games.
Is it?
Yeah. So why not NFL? I don't know why NFL is 4. Maybe because it's once a week.
There was some talk about going to 2 games, but I'll tell you why they have 4 is because there's so much potential to make money for ad sales and ticket prices. And we know the NFL is very, 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 very greedy, and any chance that they get to make more money, they're not going to cut out the 2 games. If you want to improve player safety, 2 less games a year means 2 less chances of somebody getting injured. So, hey, why don't you think about doing that first? But it comes down to dollars and cents.
NFL is just. I'm just going to say the NFL.
Lack of leadership, I say, and bad ownership.
Their owner is a moron. You'll hear it first.
What do you mean the commissioner? Sorry, the commissioner is what I meant.
The commissioner, yes.
Yeah, Roger Goodell.
Yeah. I feel like he's the. I feel like he's
he
the
kind
owner.
of is. He almost is like the king of NFL.
He does everything. The owner, he doesn't really do anything. He's kind of just there. He's like, yeah, you go do what you want.
Yeah.
But then he's like, why'd you do that? It's like, you didn't stop him. Why are you asking him?
He thinks he's king for sure. It's still my favorite sport. Still gonna watch.
Oh yeah.
But I do have a lower opinion of it than I did a few years ago. Let's move on to NBA, a sport that is growing exponentially at a faster rate.
This
second most popular sport. Mark Cuban believes that it's going to be the most popular sport soon. He might be right.
I mean, it's been going up in numbers lately, especially with all the good talent. There's been a lot of great talent over the years and everything. So
well, let's talk about a guy that you have. It's a nice young talent, Joel Embiid.
So I'm interested in this story. So everybody knows that LeBron and Kawhi were in talks of going to Philly and bringing a big superstar team to Philadelphia, but obviously that didn't happen. But Joel Embiid is not mad about it. He says he wants to be better than both. He said, I would rather be by myself and be better than both if I'm not already. So that, in my eyes, is saying, oh, so you think you're better than both LeBron and Kawhi. So, I mean, he could be in the future. We don't know. But right now he's not. But he has the potential to be as great as them. Yeah,
and he also said he wants to be the MVP. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say in any sport that going into the season that they want to be MVP. And I liked it. I like his attitude. I think he should want to be the best of the best. He seems a rarity these days where he wants to be the guy that the team builds around, where NBA, it seems these days, people don't want to go through that building process. They want to jump to these star teams. Joel Embiid doesn't have that attitude.
No.
My only question is, you got Ben Simmons, I'm sure he wants to be the face of the franchise too. He's an upcoming star as well. And then you got Fultz, although he didn't have a great season. He's a first draft pick overall. Is Embiid how is this gonna work long term? Is Embiid gonna accept that there might be two faces of the franchise? Is Ben Simmons gonna be on Joel Embiid's level at some point? Who knows? But I do like his attitude right now at this point. And he's a funny guy. He's an interesting player.
They call him
a great player.
They call him the GOAT of social media.
He is funny on social media.
It's awesome because he doesn't banter. Like, he just goes in and says his mind, and then he's like, okay, I'm done. Like, there's no going to be blood or anything. Like,
yeah, he does speak his mind, and he's usually funny, too. I like him a lot. All right, now let's go to another guy who's also funny, but unintentionally. That's J.R. Smith, who will forever be remembered for his Game 1 gaffe in the NBA Finals this year when he thought that he was up a point and didn't shoot the ball.
Just like that
just wasted time. Yeah. I don't. Is that post? I don't think that's post that.
No.
But that's a typical J.R. Smith, oh man, I just had a J.R. Smith moment. That's his reaction.
Yeah.
Still a good player.
He played 80 games last season. Did you know that?
I believe it, yeah.
And LeBron played 82, and everyone's like, oh, well, he played 82. J.R. Smith played 80.
Yeah.
80 games. And I don't think he's worth 80 games, but he played 80 games. Mm-hmm. Good for him. He stepped out. He did his part. I mean, he only averaged 8.3 points a game, but that's...
He's a solid role player.
He's not young. He's kind of like, I think, mid-30s.
Yeah, somewhere
But he's still got a few good years. He can still get that up. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be, I don't think he'll be MVP material soon or anything like that. But I feel like he could win most improved player because he's been...
Wow, you got some stock in J.R. Smith, huh?
Yeah,
let's first mention to the audience why we're talking about J.R. Smith, and that's because there's rumors that the Rockets are looking to trade for J.R. Smith because they need another wing after losing Trevor Ariza. So,
But I mean...
Do you think he's a good fit with the Rockets?
Yes and no. Yes, because they need shooters. They need more shooters. No, because they have... I can't remember. They have Chris Paul, James Harden, and I believe they just got Carmelo, didn't they?
Well, I don't think that he's signed yet, but it's looking more and more like he will sign.
So they have two good shooters. Mm-hmm. Carmelo, I guess, I'll keep in the middle. I wouldn't say he's a great shooter, but he's not a bad shooter. But I mean, J.R. Smith, maybe the Rockets do something for him. I don't think he's a good fit for the Cavs.
I think the Cavs need to do something. They can't go into the season and expect to contend with pretty much the same roster minus LeBron James. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they added Colin Sexton, who's, high touted prospect who will be a big part of the offense, but they got to do something. Whether you trade him away for, whether they go in full rebuild mode and get some draft picks for J.R. Smith, or maybe a couple young pieces, who knows? But they got to shake something up. I think it might be a good fit for both if they do land Carmelo Houston, which it's looking like they will. I think the J.R. Smith could be a great bench player, add a little bit of extra scoring when the top guys are sitting down. So I think it makes sense. I do think it makes sense, and we'll stay tuned on that. Now you have Blake Griffin here. What are we talking about Blake Griffin about?
Blake Griffin was ordered. I read this got changed this morning. It was originally supposed to be like I think like 172,000 maybe, close to that. But right now he's ordered to pay $3 million in child support.
$3 million.
$3 million.
Can Blake Griffin adopt me? That's or whoever's getting that. That is a lot of money. Child
apparently,
support.
We had the money background. So
look at us. We're just swimming in money right now.
I guess he has two kids with this
cool.
with this some random lady. I don't know. Mm-hmm. He hasn't paid anything. Just pay the bills.
Pay the bills. He's got the money.
You just signed a $170 million contract.
Yeah.
Pay the bills.
Yeah. I mean, it's calculated on a percentage of what it is. It should be no shock to really him or his attorneys.
But it's $3 million. How was that going to hurt you? You got a $170 million contract you just signed. Mm-hmm. How is $3 million going to kill you?
Plus endorsements. Wait, is he saying that he's not going to pay it?
I don't think he's. Well, he has to. He's being ordered.
I mean, you got to pay it.
Yeah,
you have no choice. I have no idea.
So, but even so, it's $3 million.
Blake Griffin, pay up. They're your kids.
I could not pay $3 million in child support. I wouldn't have anything anymore. I'd have to sell all my stuff. You have everything, okay? Just pay the bills.
Pay the bills, Blake. That's all we got to say. And are we really talking about Kawhi Leonard again? This guy, he's my most hated NBA player right now.
I know, but Isaiah Thomas was in the talks with this, so that's why I brought him in.
Which IT?
The original. What do
you
mean?
The original, the one that Mukala's got his picture with, or
the one that played for the Celtics?
That guy. Okay. Yeah. What about him?
Wait. What do you mean the original? I want to hear about the original first. Like, is there like two different ones, or?
Oh, you know what? Let's just skip this. What are we talking about Kawhi for?
So, Isaiah Thomas, he was saying like how he agrees with Leonard not coming back when he did, because he says that he came back too early from injury and it kind of affected his playing. So I thought this was interesting to read about. He was saying that, he should have like talked about it with his team, but he made the smart choice of not playing when he thought he shouldn't, because if you come back too early, it can affect how you play. It can re-injure you. It can do anything, and you won't know about it until it's too late. So Isaiah IT thinks he did a smart choice by not playing. So, I thought that would...
Well, of course Isaiah is going to say that after his whole debacle and his injury. Of course he's going to say that. He's probably going to say, I probably should have sat out too, and I wouldn't have been as bad as I was this year, yada, yada, yada. Isaiah Thomas, I like him. He's good, but he's kind of a baby, and I don't really care what he says. I still think Kawhi... I don't know anything about Kawhi Leonard's injury, but I do know that the Spurs doctors cleared him. I do know he has a crazy uncle, and I know that nobody knows who the heck his agent is, and I do know that he's a diva and was saying that he's only going to play for one place in LA. And I do know that the Spurs' entire organization has never really had these issues with any other players. So, Kawhi, I'm sorry. I don't like you. He's never going to see this, but I still just don't like
you never know. He could. Maybe his family lives in Lynn.
Oh, God. But if that's the case, Kawhi, I like you a lot. Just don't come after me. He knows where I live. All right, so now let's talk about the Celtics-Lakers rivalry you have. What rivalry, Steve? What rivalry?
Hey, whoa. Well, we had a big rivalry with the Lakers.
Yeah, but there was. But
yes.
What about now?
Well, we all know LeBron's been Boston's biggest rival for a long time. Every time he goes to a new team, when he went to the Heat, big rivalry there with the Heat. Went to the Cavs, huge rivalry with the Cavs. Lakers now. We used to have a big rivalry with the Lakers when Kobe was... It
goes back to the Magic and Larry Bird days.
Yeah, but even that's back in the 80s. That takes it from the 80s and then takes it to now. In between those years, we still had a good rivalry because of Kobe. But now that LeBron's there, we can see another one. And I'm honestly interested. I always loved the rivalry, especially 2008 championship when we won. That was amazing.
Yeah, but they're not going to be competitive, the Lakers, this year. They might not even make the playoffs.
We don't know that.
And I believe this. Of course, we don't know it, but I believe it. And the Celtics if they don't make if they don't make it to the finals this year, it's going to be a failure. So we're talking about one of the top teams in the league, probably the top. I would rank them right behind the Warriors. Rockets, Celtics, you could make the case, who the better team is there. But they're a top 3 team, definitely. And then we're talking about the Lakers, who might not even break the top 10. So I don't think there's a rivalry yet. I think the Lakers are still a few years out. They have some young players. They have young talent that can develop, but they need another piece. Maybe if Kawhi ends up going there, maybe if next year is going to be a huge free agent pool. Pretty much everybody's available. Maybe next year it'll be a rivalry, but right now I think the Celtics are totally focused on winning the East and then most likely taking on Golden State in the finals. I don't see a rivalry here, but I do agree it was a great rivalry and probably will be in the future. This year, meh.
I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen this year. I do see it coming up, though. With LeBron, if LeBron stays in LA, which I think he will maybe retire in LA because he stays on the team for 3 years, and I don't think he has that many years left in him. So I mean, I want to see another rivalry because I like sports that have rivalries, especially with Boston because we are on sports. We like to get intense, and sometimes start fights, but that's so entertaining to watch.
Hey.
It's so entertaining to watch, so, I mean.
Well, that's the only reason I sometimes watch the Sox-Yankees games. But anyway, we got a break. Why don't you take us off on this one? Take us to break.
All right, we'll be back in 30 seconds, and then we got MLB coming up, especially with the Red Sox and Yankees. So
Stands for Major League Baseball, if you didn't know at home.
Yeah, so we will be right back with these little PSAs.
You've always protected me. Every day of my life.
There you go.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm older now, but I still need you. Prescription pain pills, heroin. I know kids are getting addicted, and people are dying. Can you still protect me?
You can protect your teen. Teens who talk to their parents about opioids are less likely to misuse them. Find out what you can say.
Welcome back to ATW. Now we're going to talk about the MLB as promised. First, we're going to talk about a guy who I'm going to be honest, I don't know him, but I did read about him, Trevor Bauer.
I've never heard of him until now.
And I guess he's a Cy Young candidate. It shows what good sports fans we are. I'm sorry, I can't keep up with that much baseball. It really does just bore me. I might as well just let it out now. It bores the heck out of me. I can't watch baseball. I'm sorry. But this guy, this is really cool. Talk about Trevor Bauer.
So, again, never heard of the guy until now, but he threw a 117-mile-per-hour pitch.
That's crazy.
That is insane. Never heard of it till now. So
is it a record? I didn't do that research, but it must be a record.
I think that's a record.
We don't have to look it up right now. There'll be a lot of dead air.
That's true,
for the audience.
I'll look it up later. But even so, like, how? How do you throw a 117-mile-per-hour pitch?
I was reading, and I guess he has some really weird training techniques. Like, he will pitch medicine balls and pitch balls that are, like, heavier. So I think a lot of it is his training routine. And this guy, I guess he's a legitimate Cy Young candidate this year. He came out of nowhere. He's one of the top, I think, in ERA, he's second behind Chris Sale. So he's a legitimate Cy Young candidate, came out of nowhere. But my favorite thing about him was that last year he was injured by a drone. And he couldn't pitch because he was changing the chopper blade of his drone, and it cut his finger wide open, and he had stitches. Baseball players get the strangest injuries. It's because you really don't get injured playing baseball. You know, there's not that physical. They just get so bored after a game that they have to go do dangerous things.
Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. I think that they're a little bit, you got to watch out for those guys. Okay, so that's cool. All right, now let's talk about something that I do watch sometimes. I didn't watch the first game of the series. Again, we filmed this on Friday, so we only get to talk about the first game of the Red Sox-Yankees series, which the Red Sox won 15-7. Steve, how did that happen?
I don't know how it happened, honestly. I knew when I first put the game on, my dad was having the game on, but I went home with my friend.
So you were home.
I was home
At this point. This was no really home. This was official Steve's home. Got it.
Me and my friend were at home, and we were leaving, excited to go drop him off, and the score was 4-0. I believe top of the second or third. And I said to him, Red Sox are going to win. He's like, no, they won't. They're going to lose 4-0. I go home, and I said to my dad, I'm like, you also said Red Sox are going to lose? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, turn on ESPN. 15-7.
Wow. So he stopped watching?
No, I don't know if he stopped watching. I don't know what happened, but 15-7. I have seen.
It's a football score.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true, but it's no Mets and Nationals. That was a 25-4 loss. How do you give up 25 runs in a game? I don't know. That's just insane.
Well, Steve Pearce, who's not a starting first baseman, he started this game for the Red Sox. 3 home runs.
That's true. He was going off it yesterday.
That helps.
But, I mean, apparently the Yankees, I'm saying right now, I will always hate the Yankees. I don't care if I ever move to New York. I don't care if someone gives me every single list of greatest Yankees player ever. I am a true Boston fan, hate the Yankees, and I'm happy I heard about this. Yankees played horrible yesterday. They played like Little League, and that makes me put a smile on my face, and that's why I'm happy today.
Prediction. Does somebody charge the mound in this series?
No.
Crap. Then I don't think I'm
But
gonna watch.
my prediction is when I go to the Red Sox and Yankees series, there will be a charge mound because I'm praying that something juicy happens at
You
series.
got tickets?
I
for
have
the
tickets.
Sox-Yankees game?
We bought season tickets, and I asked if I can have a Yankees game, so they gave me it. They gave me 2. So I'm bringing one of my friends from school. I got to go pick him up, and we're going to come down and watch. We're going to go to that game, and I'm hoping there's a fight because at my dad's game, there was a fight.
Wow. Okay. So you got to be on the even playing field with your father on that one. Mm-hmm. Well, have fun there. Let's talk about a guy who's not having too much fun. I think he's on leave right now, and that's Urban Meyer. Yeah. He's being investigated for reportedly knowing but not doing enough about one of his wide receivers coaches abusing his wife in domestic violence. Urban Meyer denies knowing. Zach Smith is the coach's name. He denies doing anything. Apparently, there weren't charges ever filed, or he was never convicted. Whatever. So, what's your take on this?
I don't know why he should be, in trouble.
So here's why. If you know about abuse at a university and you don't report it, it is a violation. But right now, I'm always holding off judgments on these situations because I don't know where they go. But right now, it stands as a he said, she said type situation, and it seems like this might be 100% true. Urban Meyer might have known. I have no idea, but lately it seems like a lot of these reporters are digging so deep into people's pasts, just trying to make a name for themselves to break a story. I've never heard of the person who broke this story. I didn't even remember the name now.
I don't even know the name.
So I'm going to wait and see before I pass judgment on this. I have no idea. If Urban Meyer did know about it and he didn't report it, that is a clear violation, and he will probably lose his job, and well-deserved. But I don't know that at this point. It seems like these reporters are trying so hard to bring down these powerful people. You saw it happen to Matt Patricia, and what it did to Matt Patricia. I don't believe the allegations. I side with Matt Patricia on that one. So I'm just going to take the wait-and-see approach to all of these right now.
Yeah, and I mean, even if it's false, that should affect. I feel like that should affect the journalist's job too.
Oh yeah, but it won't.
No, it won't. It's because it's news. Mm-hmm. But I look at it, if it's false news, and it's proven false news, they should lose their job because they're trying to ruin. Right now they're trying to ruin someone's life. Mm-hmm. And that's how it's portrayed to me. They're trying to ruin someone's life. They've done it so many times, and it's like, why? Why can't we just let the guy be? If you have proof, show the proof. If you have no proof, don't leak the story.
Right. Well, they're doing the investigation right now. The investigation is going to continue. I think it's the board of directors that's overseeing it. Let's wait and see what happens. And if it comes out he's clean, then good, let him coach. If he's guilty, then disciplinary actions will happen. Wait and see. I'm putting my hands up, people, because I don't know how to judge these things. After the Reuben Foster thing, where I came out and I said Reuben Foster's guilty, and it turns out his girlfriend's making the whole thing up. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to pass on these. Let's talk about Scott Frost, the Nebraska football coach.
So he found $172,000 worth of stolen memorabilia. I think that's
he did.
Yeah,
memorabilia. That's
and it was his. Well, it was his, but I guess it was in the water. I think water. They said in some lake or something.
I did not hear this story. I saw the name there, and I couldn't really find out why you wanted to do it, but now I'm very interested.
But that would be the face I would make if I found $172,000 worth of stolen stuff.
Yeah, no, it's not mine.
Nope. Well, no, I mean, it is his. He didn't steal it.
No, things? Oh, he didn't steal it?
No, he didn't steal. No, he found it. It was his stuff that got stolen, so we found it. So, I mean, what do you do after that? You just been oh, like, I guess, thank you. But, I mean, like, why? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they have the name of the guy who did it yet. But for his sake, I'm hoping they find it.
Sure.
So, I mean.
Well, I don't think he's probably struggling for money
as
head coach of a very prominent D1 football program.
I almost went to that school.
Really?
I almost went to UCF.
I imagine you weren't. Wait, UCF, Nebraska.
It's Nebraska. I read about you. I think unless he was previously University of Central Florida, because that's what it said.
Maybe. I believe he's head coach in Nebraska.
Oh, okay, so
we should get our stories straight before we report on them. Don't worry, we'll have a follow up with this next week.
It's Friday, people.
Maybe. It's Friday.
It's
been a long, hot week.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to go to an Athlete's Corner segment, and we were actually out on the field for this one. Check it out.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. We got another special guest. The theme here at Athletes Corner a lot has been all about the ladies, and yet we have another one. I'm going to have her say her name because I may mispronounce it. She's going to introduce herself.
My name is Ashlynn Babb.
Ashelyne Babb, graduate of Utica College. She just recently graduated. Stellar 4-year career. You know, we're going to talk about that and all the great things she's done. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
How's everything going for you?
Pretty good.
Yeah. You just graduated. You just finished off your career. Tell me a little about your years at Utica College.
Okay, so I just graduated. I played 4 years at Utica College. I played more of the two position, basketball.
We have a lot of hoopers in the city.
I played more of the two position. I didn't starting until my junior year, really. Scored 1,000 points there, had a ton of assists, rebounds, steals. So overall, it was a pretty good career.
Yeah, so you were pretty much an all-around guard for the school. Just talk about what was it like for you, when you left Winthrop and then you went over there. What was the transition like?
College is completely different than high school, so the transition was tough, but I mainly went to Utica because they have an awesome criminal justice program, and so basketball was kind of just a thing there as well. It was a plus, and so being a student athlete is no joke, but overall the transition was pretty smooth. I had a lot of support, whether it was from my family or my coach. So
talk about your day-to-day as a student athlete, because we all know student athletes, their schedule, especially their class schedules, is a whole lot different from any other regular student. So tell us a little about your day-to-day schedule.
Okay, so preseason, it was class, and then we had workouts. We couldn't really do anything with coach because of NCAA rules, but we had team workouts, we had pickup, things of that sort, and then once the season hit, it was just class, basketball, 24/7. During breaks, we'd come back early because we have games, practices, so it was really just basketball all year round and schoolwork.
And then for the summer, you were there on campus in the summertime too. So
yeah, we went back a little bit early, so August.
Yeah, so you guys, your summer was pretty much cut short due to that. But just in your 4-year career, what kind of stood out for you in in all the games you played? What kind of what was kind of something that stood out for you as you grew in the program?
I would say coming in, I wasn't really much of a scorer. That didn't start till my sophomore year. I think that's what really stood out for me, and that ended up leading up to my 1,000 points. So that was something big. I didn't get to do it in high school, so to be able to go and do that in college was really big for me.
Yeah, I didn't even look this up. How many players from Utica have reached that plateau, that 1,000 points?
I was the 13th. There was 2 of us this year that reached it. So she was 12, I was 13.
That's pretty cool to have one of your teammates do it. Was she also a senior, or she was?
She was a senior as well. We came in together.
Okay, so that's also kind of cool, just doing that. And you said you went there for criminal justice. What was it about their criminal justice program that attracted you to it?
So a lot of their professors and stuff, like I've had a professor who's a judge, I have one who's a district attorney, so it creates a lot of connections for you right within the school.
Yeah, and so now that you're done, you've got the criminal justice degree. What are what's like your plans for the upcoming future?
So right now I'm about to start an internship with the Cambridge Probation Department, so I'm hoping that will lead into a job. So
any aspirations, law school or any of that? Or?
No. No.
That part of your life is done? The school part of your life?
Yeah, the school is done.
All right, now, are you still playing?
I am. I just played recently in the Lynn tournament that Simi did, and I play in the Dammers League.
Okay.
So I'm doing just a bunch of different women's leagues right now, but it's just something to do on the side.
Yeah, let's go a little back to your high school career. You played at Winthrop. You know, a Lynn person playing at Winthrop. Some people would be like, why? But what were some of the reasons that went into you going there to play?
So my freshman year, I played at Bishop Fenwick, and then that wasn't really a school for me. Me and my brother went to the same school, so we decided to go to Winthrop, just kind of get away from Lynn and make our own name, so a name for ourselves, whether it's basketball, school, or just go to a place where people didn't know us. And we did that, and we made a name there, and so that was really big.
I understand. Were you were you NEC Player of the Year or a candidate?
I was.
What was that honor like for you?
It was big. Basketball wasn't really, a thing for me. It was just something that I was good at. And then when I got to high school, I realized, oh my God, like this could be something. So it was good to be able to do that.
What was it like competing against some of your friends that either went to Lynn English, Lynn Classical?
So when I played, the competition was really tough. One of our toughest teams was St. Mary's, and my senior year, we actually ended up we were one game away from going to the Garden, and we lost by 2 to them. And they had a person who went D1 and a person who went D2. So that was really big.
Yeah, now you've seen, you know in the area, you've seen a lot of the basketball, a lot of players, we got a lot of players coming out this year. What is that, for you to leave your mark as one of the best players to come out of Lynn, and now you're seeing the younger generations, the younger players making that stride too. What's that feeling like for you, just to see that you're part of the group that kind of set the tone for players to achieve a lot of their goals? I
mean, I think it feels good. Honestly, anything to keep the kids off the street, I think is good, and I think sports is definitely a good way for them to do that. So to see kids come out, I mean, it just lets other kids know that there's a way out, So I think it's really good.
And also the education aspect too. You use sports to help you with your education. Now, that's either you want to be or not. You kind of like a role model now, because not many people get a chance to go to college. Not many people get a chance to play college basketball. Just you being that example for for the young folks, the young children to follow. What responsibilities do you take with that?
A lot. I don't think a lot of kids realize that in order to go to college, in order to play basketball, you need the grades to get there. And so that's what I've been trying to explain. I go back to, the old AAU programs that I play with now. I work with some of the girls, and a lot of them don't realize you need the grades to get to college. Without the grades, there's no basketball.
Definitely.
And so right now, that's what I'm trying to teach some of these girls. So I'm going to start coaching and hopefully helping a lot of people do what I did.
Now, when I sent the email to your coach, she said she had all these nice things to say about you, how much of a great person you are, off the court. What was she like for you through your 4-year career?
She was tough, very, very tough. I contemplated quitting freshman year, but I didn't. She pushes you. She pushes you to your max, and I think that's part of the reason why I got my 1,000 points, why I became the player I was. Because if you asked me going in freshman year, I would never think that I would have got there. But she pushes you, she pushes everybody, she treats everybody the same, she expects the same. If you don't do it, you don't play it, and it's simple as that. So
yeah, that's a great model to have in life. Always somebody there to push you, and I'll never quit. But thank you for being here. Thank you for coming in. Congratulations on everything and everything you do in the future. So
thank you.
You guys have been watching another edition of Athletes Corner. The ladies and Lynn always stepping up. We're going to toss it back to Brian.
Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle. I was wrong. Apparently we weren't in the field for that. That's probably next week. Mess some things up. Like Steve always says, it's Fridays. It is an excuse. But now we're going to talk about the Bruins. But first, I just want to preface that it's been really hard to fill out a full hour of sports talk in August. I mean, we were just going through some of the ESPN headlines. And this is that top headlines for ESPN. Packers Beluga cleared 9 months after ACL tear. RG3 emotional in first NFL game. Rookie James confirms he was robbed in L.A. Ohio State forms group to direct Meyer inquiry. See, it's just very hard when baseball is the only sport. And I hate to keep ripping on baseball, but it's just, I don't think it's as big as it was, and it's something that I just don't have fun talking about. So it is hard. It's even hard on ESPN and all these places to fill out. I mean, we can talk about golf next week. Maybe squeeze some WWE into it. No,
not golf.
No golf on that.
No golf.
All right. Well, we do have the Chris Kreider to talk about. You put on the rundown. Massachusetts guy, BC grad. What do we like about him?
Well, apparently he's returning to the NHL after a massive blood clot. So I mean that. I don't know how that is because I've never had that, but I'm guessing to him coming back, that must be a big step for him. Mm-hmm. And they're saying he's going to come back as a leader.
Isn't that what has made Chris Bosh retire? I think blood clots is what Chris Bosh retired because he can't fly.
No,
I know it happens from inactivity a lot of the times, just from or that's one way that it can happen. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes throughout the season. But I always liked Chris Kreider. Like I said, he's from Massachusetts. I forget exactly where, but he's a BC grad. He's a big, tough forward. He's a pretty good scorer. And I always want to see him in a Bruins uniform, but it's a good chance he's actually going to be the captain for the Rangers this year.
Really?
He's one of the longest.
Yeah.
I think so. I think he's one of the longest tenured Rangers, and he's going to be 20. He is 27. This could really be a breakout year for him to become a leader and a star. He just has to stay healthy and put up at least 30 goals in a season, which he has yet to do. But he is a good scorer, a good player, and wish you the best of luck, Chris Kreider. Now, you want to talk about the Bruins? It's August. What are you talking about the Bruins for?
I don't know, right? Like they retired Rick Middleton's number, I guess.
All right.
A big one right there.
Yeah. We should have led off with that story.
I know, right?
Everybody's excited. They want to know whose number is being retired this year in August for the Bruins.
I mean, I don't know. It's literally August. Like, what happens in August?
Well, I mean, you have Bruins here. We can talk about how I'm at least surprised how Torrey Krug hasn't been moved yet after signing Grzelcyk.
Honestly, we can talk about that.
Grzelcyk is pretty much a cheaper version of Krug.
Yeah.
We got too many small defensemen on the Bruins. We need some big bruiser bangers out there.
I stopped watching the Bruins. They just bore me now. They're not the same. They're not the same team. No, I missed the 2011 team.
Are you excited to see how Ryan Donato progresses and if he plays?
Honestly,
he's the Harvard product.
I'll say yes.
Massachusetts.
That I am. Yeah. Because I like young talent.
Yeah.
He's young talent, so I'm interested to watch him.
I'm interested to see if he makes the starting roster from day one. But his NHL debut, a couple games, he had a couple goals. So that's one exciting thing that we got coming for the Bruins. But if you want to talk about sports in August, we got Ice Cube's Big Three. And boy, are there some big names in this tournament. Why don't you tell people about the format of what this is?
Okay, so basically it's just 3-on-3 basketball. You got retired players that come in, and they form their own teams. Like they got Allen Iverson. He's the coach of one of the teams. I think it's the Reese Company.
Yeah, I think there's. I don't know if they formed. I think there's actually a draft.
Yeah, there is a draft. I know that. But I mean, it's their second season. They did it last year, and apparently it's a big thing. Like I mean, I didn't know that. I just found that out this year. But I mean, they got big names. They got Andre, they got Stoudemire, they got Iverson, they got.
Wait, are you sure Iverson's a coach? I'm not seeing that.
I swear to God, he is.
Huh? I know Charles Oakley and Julius Erving. It says there's a coach.
No, he is.
They got. All right, I believe you. They got some pretty good. They got Meta World Peace, Chauncey Billups, like you said, Amari Stoudemire, Nate Robinson. I'm reading here, and Ice Cube's been on pretty much every sports talk show. Radio in Boston over the past few days trying to promote this. I think it's interesting. It's fun. It's not something I'd ever pay money to go to. But the reason he started it was because I heard him on the radio saying he was so bored in the summer months with sports. Like there just isn't sports. You have to wait from the end of basketball to football to really have that big
and like you said,
enthusiasm for sports.
There's baseball, but I mean, you can only watch baseball. I feel like you can only watch baseball to a full extent. I only watch the Red Sox. I don't watch anybody else because why am I going to? What does that do for me? NBA, I feel like that's different because you got big talent. And I'm not saying MLB doesn't have big talents. They do. I don't know them.
Can you name 10 baseball players that are not on the Red Sox?
Coco Crisp.
Can you name 10 current baseball players that are on the Red Sox?
There
Aren't.
Oh, aren't? No.
Yeah, I probably. I mean,
I can name like 5, like Mike Trout,
Giancarlo Stanton,
Coco Crisp. We got. Don't forget about
Justin
him.
Verlander. But like off the top of your head, it's hard. Like
Yeah.
the top, like who? I really can't do it. I mean, I could come up with it, but off the top of my head, can I name like top 10 stars? No. It's. I think it's a dying sport, and this is no offense. It's kind of an older man's sport. I don't know if many. It's also a problem with getting new people to play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to play basketball these days. Basketball is doing great stuff with youth program, and it's showing in the ratings in the NBA. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I hate to keep hating on baseball, but that's all there is to talk about in August.
And I mean, it's not a. I don't think it's a bad thing, but like I said, you can only talk about it to a full extent. Like you can't watch it over and over again unless you're really dedicated. Like you've been doing baseball since you were like 2. But like, even so, like I mean, I put on the Red Sox first game this season, and it was interesting. I'm glad I did that. Well, I saw inside the park home run the first game, but like I don't see a lot of that. Like you
There's
just
just
got
so
like
many games too.
yeah, and then there's what 182 or something.
Something like that. Something
Like
ridiculous.
that. Every season, like football's got 16 weeks. NBA's got 82, 84 games. Like NHL, 82, 84 games. But it's just so much.
And we're sorry for you baseball fans out there. If there are baseball fans who want to come on and talk with us, maybe educate us.
Yeah,
that would
change
be
my
awesome.
decision. Change my
help
mind.
us, help us change our mind. Come on in, talk some baseball with us. I know Pedro is a big baseball guy, but he won't talk. We can't get him to talk about anything.
And I will give you permission to yell at me all you want.
Yell at him all you want to hear Pedro yelling back there. All right, well, we're going to wrap this up. I told Steve that he can do the closing that Mukala usually does. I'm going to judge you very harshly on this. I'm going to give you 1 through 10. I won't do it on air, but let's go. Your best closing. What do you got?
All right. Well, got Canada this coming Sunday.
Nice.
I'll be
That's
gone
right.
for 2 weeks. So I'm going to Orlando right after. We got big sports coming up at the end of August. Don't think about August. Brian has been a good co-host with me because he has helped me get through the show because I would be really bored by myself. Canadians, be ready for me to come in with a Bruins shirt on so I can start drama down there because, it's really fun to get Canadians and New Yorkers to get mad at you.
Yes, for a simple thing like a sports jersey.
Like a sports jersey, yes. So I will be doing that. I will be having a lot of fun down there. I will come back when I am back from vacation. I will tell everybody about it.
And please send us pictures of you wearing your Bruins jersey in Montreal, and we will put them on the show and show everybody that you actually did do it.
Okay.
You have to do it. It's a
I
challenge.
will do it.
I wouldn't wear it to any nightlife thing, where there might be some adult beverages involved because there might be some trouble there. But, during the day, I think you can...
I can get by, yeah. So, anyway, we got me, we got Brian. We're out of here. We're going to go enjoy our Friday days, and hopefully we see you guys next week. So, other than that, have a great day and a great weekend. Hopefully it's nice.
What was it?